Good morning. It's Jonathan Barrett with the morning debrief for May the 1st. Quite an eventful night on Friday night. Obviously, quite a lot of news. Pretty much concerning obviously what's happening in Greece, also what's happening in America. We actually saw the Dow under quite a bit of pressure towards the close, and that's also as the Senate actually probes a little bit deeper into what's happening in the Goldman affairs. So that in itself, I think, is quite interesting and actually hurting sentiment in the market. Economic numbers still remain relatively positive, and which is good. But for some reason, people decided to take a little bit of profit on their recent long positions. But anyway, let's have a look at a little bit of a closure on the trading night, and here we go. As you can see, I guess the most important thing is when we look at America that we had quite a down night. The Dow was down 11,000 points at 11,008. That's down nearly 1.42%. Obviously, taking back those gains we had the other night. The S&P was down 20, the Nasdaq was down 50, and the Russell was down 21. Pretty negative overall, and basically the negativeness actually started in Europe. The Stoic was down 11. The FTSE, CAC, and the DAX are all down as well. FTSE being hit the most, I think, down 64. And I think that's on the back of some political concerns there as who's going to get in. And the DAX was down 9, and the CAC was down 23. Obviously, there we go there. We've got a lot of work on Goldman's. A lot of people concerned as to what's happening there. Basically, a lot more concerns over in Greece. And let's see what happens there. But it seems to me that Germany and France are looking to help out there as well. So I don't see there's too much of a concern here. One little bit interesting here was we saw China manufacturing increasing at its fastest pace, and it is highlighting a concern that we are overheating. And as a result of that, we're seeing more demand for gold, which, mind you, had a good strong night on Friday night, and expectations are certainly there for it to hit that 1200 mark. But anyway, let's see if we can ring that bell. Righty ho, well, let's have a look at just a general feeling as to the general market. As always, we have a quick look at see what that DAX is doing, and sorry, not DAX, the dollar index. As you can see here, it remained weak, but just towards the close, we saw this little bit of perkiness occurring. Now, this indicates in my mind, technically, that we're at the lower end of its range, and expectations are for it, I think, to travel back through that 82.50. Now, the good thing about the dollar trades, we think the dollar can go a little bit firmer from here, purely on the back of what's happening in Europe. But if you were to go long dollars, then obviously a stop would have to go in below this area here, around that 81.80 or 81.70 level. But when you look at it there it is there. This does look like a typical breach and pullback type of trading range, and that's what we're seeing. So I think, if anything, if it does break through this top end, then dollars will be firm there for a little while. So how did the Aussie trade on the back of that, I guess, and the Euro? Look, the Aussie 92.42, that was down from its highs, but as you can see, it's just coming down to a level of support. Really don't want to see it too much lower than these levels, and when you look at it from here, it's sort of quite a sharp fall, and that's all back on the dollar strength. And if anything there, I think I'd probably find it go sideways for a little while. Don't expect it to get down to that 91.50 level. If it does, then obviously there's some contagion or greater concern as to what is actually happening in Europe. Obviously, the attraction there being risk aversion trades towards the US dollar. As everyone knows on the Euro, we've been following that, and want to try and get our teeth into a good trade here. But it's really not as much signs that we should actually be buying at the moment. And I think at the moment it looks like it is set to test a little bit lower, but we do want to try and get into that Euro somewhere along the line. Okay, moving across to some of the commodities, let's have a look at gold. 1178 is where it's closed, and as you can see, that's not a bad little trend. It's well supported. These little movements here I like. They're breach and pullback, and the trend. So I think the expectation is for that to continue to trade higher. As to how far it can trade from here, unsure, but I think the market is trying to will itself onto that 1200. We did have a small trade on Thursday. We went short, but we had a stop and reversing. So we are currently long at around that 1173, and we're looking for it to trade through that 1200 at the moment. Obviously, we know where our stops are. It's nice and easy there because we broke on that break up here, so our stop is pretty much down here and definitely below that 1163. So let's see how that unfolds. Okay, on to some of the other markets. Crude, copper. Copper's just marking time going sideways, lower end of the range. I think the concerns that we have with China overheating is going to be a little bit of effect on the demand for copper. Let's see how that travels, but we don't want that, but at the moment it does look a little bit weak. Would like to see another leg down pretty soon, but let's see how that goes. Onto the crude front, obviously big concerns in the Gulf of Mexico at the moment, but crude is holding up quite well, and the last couple of days we are in a range. Obviously a takeout through that 86.70 sends it to a new and higher range, but at the moment I need to see why it'll break through that level, but at the moment she's just could be considered to be at the top end of the range. Local market, obviously you'd expect the SPI 47.56 under pressure, still looking a little bit weak there, and really does look weak. We covered our shorts last week, perhaps a little bit too early, and might look to get back in there. I'll let that for the tweets there as to what we're doing there. Having a look at some of the softs now, and very volatile night. Corn, soy, and wheat. Expectations are that China's coming back into the market here. So as you can see with wheat, looking a little bit stronger. Have a look at soybeans because that has been interesting. I would like to see one more leg down to 960, and if I can get that, I will go long because I think China needs to get in there. Also, as with corn, you can see here very volatile, looking well bid, and with China on the back there, I'll probably expect things to remain relatively well bid there. Just have a look at the daily chart for corn there, and you see it's broken out of that little area there. So expectations for that to move up to 380 quite happily. Obviously, there's the range, 418, 340, lower end of the range, should be a buy. Okay, well that's pretty much the weekend wrap. The sort of trades we've got at the moment are basically that long gold position we've put on. We're still long sugar. We do like sugar, but it's obviously we've got big production issues there, and obviously long the Aussie at the moment. So that's pretty much all we've got up, and also we've also got a short copper on. So that's it. But keep an eye on it. Remember to follow the tweets. That's whenever we look to do something, we put it on the tweet there. And also remember YouTube and also Facebook if you want to join and just have any comments there. So that's about it from me. I hope you have a great weekend. And just remember we've got the war report that comes out on Monday. War report comes out on Monday morning, and that gives you all the data for the week ahead. Anyway, have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Happy trading.